Good afternoon and welcome to our Digital Biz podcast. We're pleased to introduce to you today our top finalists in the Digital Biz contest. This contest has generated over 2,700 views and 600 plus votes over the last few weeks. Very exciting. And as we know, 50% of the prize is weighted based on our judging panel, comprised of Sean Ashley, partner at Scripnik Professional Corporation, Dina Arsenault, a digital strategist from McHugh, and Darby Mousseau, creative director and professor at Fanshawe College. Congratulations to all of our finalists, and I'd like to introduce and welcome today Karen Stewart. Karen is a co-owner of Westland Gallery, which can be found at www.westlandgallery.ca. Welcome, Karen. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi. Can you tell us a little bit about your business and how you got started?
Sure, I sure can. So my husband and also business partner, Al Stewart, he started the Art Exchange almost 20 years ago. That is our sister company, our original company. Now, Al's always had a passion for original art. And after the breakup of his first marriage, he became a single dad of two small children and needed to start a home-based business in order to see his kids as much as possible. So being an art lover, and he took a course on custom framing, he got some experience, and he opened the Art Exchange. And it was just off Richmond Row, and Al and the kids all lived there above the store while he worked at the store. So a few years ago, or fast forward a few years, it's been almost 15 years ago, we moved into Wortley Village with the Art Exchange. And at that point, the business was mostly just custom framing. But when we moved in, we had artists who kept asking us, they were very excited that there was a place now to show more original art in Old South. So we started holding exhibitions with different artists at the Art Exchange while still concentrating on custom framing. Then we met a wonderful man named Jean Lamont, who owned and operated an antique store and an art store we're housed in right now at Westland Gallery. So Jean was a great love of antiques and original art, and he taught us a great deal. And 4 years prior to his death at 96, he approached us and he said, "I have an offer that you won't be able to refuse." So we listened. And Mr. Lamont wanted us to move our business down the street to the building that we're in right now, which was his building at the time. Al was to help him fix up the building. He would hold the mortgage, and we would run our art and framing store from there. Now, Jean died before the plan was completed, so it took a little bit of time for the estate to settle. And in that time, we decided not to move the Art Exchange down, but to open up a separate business that would just be a fine arts gallery. And we were highlighting local and area artists at Westland Gallery. And it's called Westland Gallery because the original people who built the business also had a home-based business, and they were called the Westlands. And their name is still on the building. So we're now we just started our 4th year at Westland Gallery here, right in the heart of Wortley Village.
What a great story. There's so much history and heritage and so many coincidences. It's interesting how life sort of pushes us along into a direction where we need to be, isn't it?
Certainly does. Certainly does.
Now tell us about the local art scene in London and southwestern Ontario. There's certainly a need for local artists to have a place to show their work. What have you seen in terms of trends or the types of artists, or sort of who is the person that you serve out of the gallery?
Well, that's a very loaded question. London has a huge amount of artists who span all kinds. They go from our senior artists who have influenced all the younger ones along the way, right down to our Sunday painters. The amount of artists who are out there in London who are great and have so much work to see is pretty amazing. Now, we concentrate on London and area. We consider about 2 hours outside of London to be the area that we concentrate on. And I'd say at the moment we're about mid artists, like mid-career artists. So whereas we have an exhibition every year called the Square Foot Show that anybody can enter, gives our community and art and sort of newer artists the ability to showcase their work, to put some work in. We have about I think this year we had 450 pieces of art, so it gives them a place to really start. To our exhibitions now, which we really do highlight the mid-career artist.
Oh, that's wonderful. And are there many other places in London where that niche in the market is served right now?
I don't think, honestly, I don't think there's that much. The other galleries who have been around for a long time, they are doing some international. I know there are some who are still carrying a lot of the historical artists, more senior artists here in town. But there's a few new ones that have opened up with Fanshawe College and the university's art program to showcase the artists who are just emerging, which is always really, really nice to see.
Fun, yes. So sort of the academic settings where the emerging artists are showing their work. Some galleries in town that show senior artists, but maybe you found a niche for the mid-career artists that you're talking about.
Yeah, I think we have. Yeah.
That's great. Congratulations. Now,
thank you.
Tell us a little bit about how digital has changed your business. You know, you've got a great website. I've had a look at it, and certainly there's a lot online. Can you tell me a little bit about how that changed? Oops, they're calling you already.
I sure can. I sure can. I have a little story as we were talking about this interview today that I sort of wrote out that kind of tells you about the digital and the way we've used it. We've been in business 20 years at the Art Exchange when Al started it. And when we both started, I can remember I would start a search on Google. You'd walk away from your computer, you go do something else, and you come back later and hope that it found something that you searched for.
Right.
It was when I was telling Danielle, who you've been dealing with, telling her that story, she can't even imagine that at all. You know, it's too young. So for us, it's just expanded and allowed us to do so much more than I think we could possibly ever do. We used to send out postcard after postcard and do ads in newspaper and stuff, hoping people would come in. Now we can use all of the social media, the LinkedIn and Facebook and we're on about 5 different platforms right now, and they allow us to expand to, well, as you know, the world, but really a lot more of London area. And it would have cost us a fortune to continue mailing out everything, which is unfortunate, but yeah. So we really, we've really taken to the social media and the digital. We use a CMR system that is amazing. We're trying to get ourselves into video a little bit more. So there's lots of opportunities for us, and we've really embraced it.
Well, good for you. Yes, that's absolutely right. It's just a faster way to reach people sometimes in communities that you wouldn't have access to otherwise.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And moving forward, or maybe you can share with us a little bit about what prompted you to enter this contest. Where do you think there is more digital opportunities for your business, or where do you see your business growing in the direction of digital over the next 5 years?
So I sat back and thought about that, and a couple of areas for us would be video and more in the LinkedIn area, which is probably more of our client base that we're looking for. I thank you for saying our websites are good, that you had a look at them, but I do believe our websites are probably not providing the best user experience that we could possibly give our artists. our clientele. I can see that being a very big opportunity that we haven't totally taken advantage of, is making the website a lot more interactive. And because we're in such a visual world, that I think it's really, really important for our websites. And we're at the point now that we need to reevaluate them and just make sure they are exactly what we need for our clientele.
And have you ever sold your art online?
We have. We don't use, we have, in that people have seen the art. We've sold to New York, California, Ireland. We've sent art out to, which always amazes me that people will buy art online. So there's a big opportunity for that market to open up for us to do more online sales that way. Very, very little. We haven't promoted it.
Right, right. It is interesting. It's like the world opens up to sell globally like that from Wortley Village.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Congratulations.
Pretty cool. Thank you.
And thank you very much for joining us today. I really appreciate you giving us a little bit of insight into your business and the history of your business. We congratulate you on making it to the finalists for the Digital Biz contest. And
wonderful.
We appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you, Karen.
No problem. Thanks very much. Okay.
I'd also like to thank our audience for listening to Shop Local Now podcast, and make sure that you check out shoplocalnow.ca and Celebrate Local to learn more about the contest. And there's still time to vote, so the winners will be announced sometime in mid-November. Thanks again, Karen. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.